I didn't even do one. Well, you better do, just a second. You better do one here. Hi, everyone. I just want to see what things sound like and if it's really still okay when we're here. And we need to be this close. Okay, cool. And I hope that that doesn't cause a problem in the recording. Everyone, I just want to see what things sound like and if it's really still okay when we're here. And we need to be this close. Okay, cool. And I hope that that doesn't cause a problem in the recording. Okay, so we're ready to start. Turn that off. Okay. Okay. Okay, so can you hear me now? And are we good to go? Oh, okay, cool. So it's just I needed to refresh it since I updated the settings. Okay, cool. So I lost some people when I did the refresh, but you are hopefully going to come back. So if you need to do a hard refresh, go ahead. And a hard refresh is, okay, we lost quite a few people. Coming back on. Okay, hard refresh is Control plus F5 and on a Mac it's Apple button plus, do you remember? Shift plus R. There you go. So a hard refresh is a bit safer, and if there is some lag or some echo, that might be the best thing to do. So if you can just kind of take note of that, that will help you. Okay, so are we set to go? We've lost some people. Very sorry about that. I probably kicked them off when I started again, but we're on the same link, fortunately. So I hope they try it again, and I'm just going to check my email to make sure that nobody's trying to get me that way. Okay, sorry guys. It seems like every time there's some different tech thing that just kind of kicks me in the behind. And I don't think anybody's trying to... Okay, good. All right, well, that's how it goes. Okay, I'm going to go over to screen now, and we'll carry on with our masterclass. So give me a few seconds to make that transition. Okay, and here we go. Okay. Okay, great. Okay, I'll wait a little minute until you can hear me and see the slides. Okay, Lindsay, are you on here yet? Can you see the slide and can you hear me? Lindsay, refresh. Try that, and that might help. Okay, Jen's here. Sorry guys, this is not what we want to have happening anytime. Lindsay, are you here yet? Okay. Lindsay, can you hear me? Can you hear me yet, Lindsay? Yes, please. Okay. Apple key Shift plus R. Yes, that's correct. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start. I know, Jen, you have to get going, and we'll get through as much as we can in 30 minutes of content. And Lindsay, you can catch up with the rest of it later, hopefully. So thank you for being here and for being patient with this process. This is really something frustrating. Anyway, what we're going to do is we'll talk about some things first, and then we're going to play with some of these tools, these energy tools. And I've been using energy tools for about 10 years with myself and then with special education students the last couple of years when I'm working in a school. So we'll be playing with this, and we'll switch to camera mode later and do that. So maybe you're wondering if this is quite the right kind of thing for you. Some of you have said that you have a lot of noise in your head and you feel overwhelmed. So do you feel anxious or blah or lot, or experience physical symptoms of anxiety and it doesn't make sense? Like physical symptoms such as uneasy stomach or other digestive difficulties, or racing heart, or quick and shallow breathing, or chronic muscle tension, insomnia, any of those. And it doesn't seem to be any reason for it. And that's what gets really frustrating. You try to make up reasons and it doesn't seem like there are any. Or maybe you've tried lots of ways to handle anxiety, but nothing really works all that well. Or maybe a certain situation is causing you, or has caused you in the past, a lot of stress and trauma. Or do any of these sound familiar? Lindsay, I don't know what to say. No sound or video. You're not logged in. Click the link that you got in the email. And if that doesn't work, try signing in again. Okay, so maybe you sometimes have a sense of dread or unease for no real reason, or suddenly feel anxious or heavy or angry. And I used to have this happen a lot, and I still do. It's just like out of the blue, you feel really this yuck feeling in my stomach, which is pretty common, or just feel anxious or feel something. I'm like, what is going on with this? And it used to take me a few days to even think to wonder if it was mine. So it's sort of like Robert Munch's mud puddle, where the mud puddle just jumps on this little girl and she doesn't really know what happened. Or maybe you don't feel good in being in crowds for very long, or you can't tolerate being around so-called negative or toxic people. Or does this sound familiar? Yes, it does. You often feel overwhelmed and feel like you're not enough in some way, or not good enough, or not this enough or that, or too much of something, no matter how much you do or how much you try. And that's kind of the signature of anxiety, is this feeling of not again. Maybe you want to stop running inside. Okay. Just a second. And stop living in panic mode so you can just relax and enjoy your life more. Or maybe you'd like to be able to quiet your thoughts and be more calm and conscious in your everyday life. Or maybe you want more, like not just to not feel anxious anymore, but to be connected with something greater than what you see, and with your own true self and your inner knowing. And what I'm looking at with all of this is kind of going to the roots of anxiety and going underneath the kind of surface things that some of us have done in the past. So I'm going to be talking about a bunch of bonuses at the end, so stick around and see about those. I won't talk about them now. We're just going to go through this as quickly as we can to get to some actual work that you can do. But one of the things that you would get right away is being able to stay sane in groups, 10 tips for staying sane in groups, and that can be challenging. And also one of the bonuses is a calm down sequence video. And we will talk about all of that. So I'm just going to go on. So what you learned today, 6 common causes of anxiety and 1 surprising cause of anxiety. Might not be so surprising if you've read some of the Facebook posts. And 1 big illusion that creates anxiety. And 4 steps to creating peace and calm in your mind and body and going beyond. So the first step is to calm your mind and body with powerful physical energy tools. And these come from a variety of energy modalities. And the ones that you're going to learn today, I use with my students at school, and they work really well, especially for people that haven't done any energy work before, because it gives you something tangible to do. You don't need to particularly, feel energy in your hands or sense energy to be able to do them. And that's great if you can, but if you can't, they still work. Second step is to easily transform trauma and other stuff into space and ease. And this can be very simple to do, and you're going to get started with that today too. And the third step is to connect with your being or your true self, and or your spirit or your higher self, whatever you want to call that. And that opens up literally a universe of possibilities. And it ensures that you're never alone and never unsupported. And so, Lindsay, I'm sending the link on here. Obviously, you can see it if you're there. Yeah, that's for this one. Okay. And then the last but not least step is to use your intuitive gifts for you instead of against you. And we use them against us by default. So what if a lot of your anxiety is just your awareness of other people's emotions and issues that you've misidentified as yours because it feels just like yours? And what if you could start to use them for information to help you know what choices and decisions are right for you on your path? And another thing that we'll do today is learn to communicate with your own body so that you can get yes/no answers for practically anything. And this is very empowering. It's very cool to be able to do this, and it's very empowering. So my path, I came out of a major depression and anxiety quite a few years ago using a lot of different things, codependence recovery stuff, inner child stuff, walking, some body work, not so much back then. Nothing really energy work, but more of the earlier stuff. And then I went to university and spent a few years doing that. And then in 2007, a young friend had just died, and I had been very involved in the situation, and I couldn't deal with the complex mix of emotions and everything that was there. And I started spiraling down again and into depression and anxiety, and I felt quite helpless. And at that time, I saw a little ad in the library with an invitation to learn about emotional freedom technique, EFT. And so I went and started using it quite obsessively. And since then, I've used a lot of different energy modalities, and I've always used them really thoroughly and expanded them and, just done as much as I could with them. And then something better would come along. So I just kept moving through EFT, emotion code, body code, metamedicine, which became MetaHealth, advanced clearing energetics, access consciousness, and most recently, dominant space with Graziano Dominici. And that has felt the most native to my being. And now I find the most space and ease just being in the space of my being and working with my own core team or my advisors or whatever you want to call them, guides. They're not really guides, though they're more colleagues, and the presence of God. So that's So that's what I have done, and that's what I'm sharing with you is some energy tools. So I've used all of these modalities with clients, and I've mostly worked with trickier psychological issues. And one very tricky psychological issue was this young man, I'll call him Mr. T. He's very extreme anxiety, very OCD, and it was devastating. He couldn't function really in any area of his life. And so we worked together on the phone and on Skype, and I shared some tools with him, access tools at that time, and I was also using advanced clearing energetics. So I combined those two. And he gradually started to climb out of his anxiety and to be more present in his own life. And he unlocked his ability to create whatever he wants, basically. He's a very potent creator. And just, he's in university right now. and he's been on the top of his engineering program. And this summer he got a placement. He got a job down in the States in a very economically depressed climate where they were not hiring in his area at all. And he's just amazed that he could never have imagined this would be possible. So he says it's all about creating space, creating possibilities, and creating your own reality. And it's really important that you don't make conclusions and that you can just go with what's possible. And then you can get beyond whatever you could have imagined. So some common causes of anxiety are medications, physical conditions, and I won't talk about those. You can look them up online. And if you have any questions about that, concerns, do contact your doctor. And what we're doing is not intended to be a substitute for medical care. I'm just making that clear right now. Stress and trauma, past or present. So it can be chronic stress or acute stress, and it can be big T trauma, something really bad that's happened, or it can be the little daily traumas that can cause anxiety. Our thinking habits can contribute to anxiety, and cognitive therapy addresses that. And one of the bonuses is to give you some tools to work with cognitive therapy kinds of things, maybe in a different way. I worked through the Feeling Good Handbook with Dr. Burns, and that was it's about the kinds of thinking that kind of can derail us. I found it to be surface. It wasn't deep enough for what I really required. And our personality can contribute to anxiety. We might be very perfectionistic, have high standards, and maybe be high achievers, be caution-oriented. Those kinds of things can contribute to anxiety, and we can create more ease with whatever personality we have. People with ADHD, dyslexia, OCD, and who are on the spectrum, ASD spectrum, they have this super awareness. So if you know anyone or are anything like that or think you might be, even if you're not diagnosed or labeled, there's a good chance that this awareness is what's causing a lot of the anxiety. The choices that we make on a daily basis and have made in the past can cause anxiety. And I call it that because if we have made a choice, we're always choosing. They say that we make 30,000 choices a day. So even little choices we make can create a difference in our situation, even to choose what we focus on, or choose what we think, or choose our attitude, or choose possibility instead of choosing conclusion. So there are so many choices that we can make that can create a difference. And our core beliefs around not enough or too much or any variation of that can create a fantastic amount of anxiety. So here's where it gets really fun. So everyone's aware, of course. Everybody has these gut feelings or vibes or something like that. But for some people, it's really ramped up. And for people with OCD, it's very ramped up. They're aware of all the thoughts, feelings, and emotions of everyone up to thousands of miles away. And could that not be overwhelming? And people who are on the spectrum, they're aware of everything, and it's way beyond it's way beyond thousands of miles away. It's like the universe. And there's no filter either. So that kind of awareness is very challenging. And when I ask students who have ADHD if they usually know what their friends are thinking and feeling, they look at me like I'm kind of stupid and say, yeah. It's like, okay, cool. So at the school where I am, they're also aware. It's all special education. They're all aware of everyone else. So it really spirals out of control by the afternoon. All this aware of everybody else's anxiety and stuff, and it just kind of feeds on each other and becomes quite difficult atmosphere for them to be in by the end of the day. And it's exhausting for them, and it's exhausting for us. So I've had lots of chances to practice how to be in that environment. And I teach whatever kids are willing some of these tools so that they can have more ease with it. So how much of your anxiety is caused by your awareness of other people's anxiety and other people's stuff? The trick is, it always feels like our own stuff. And we can only really start to figure out what's going on when we start to ask questions. And we'll get started with that today. So the grand illusion is that we persist in feeling that we're alone and in thinking that we're separate, and we are not. It's just an illusion of this world, of this reality, that there is separation. And it's perpetuated on a daily basis. So I've realized that feeling disconnected, we're not. But when we feel disconnected, that creates a lot of anxiety. Or when we think we are disconnected, think we're separate. So we get feeling disconnected from our bodies that are connected to all things, and from our being or spirit or true self, and from our invisible helpers, and from Source or God or Universe or Allah or Consciousness or Creator or whatever you call that. And we're often disconnected from each other on this planet. So if we could connect to all the support and all the resources that are available to us in this vast universe. Lindsay, are you back? Must be. Good. We'd never feel alone or unloved or lacking anything ever again. Okay, so let's get practical. So the physical energy tools that we're going to use to calm your mind and body, there are lots more, but these are the three we'll use. The crown pull, EFT, anxiety shortcut, and press and release. Crown pull comes from Donna Eden, and it's deceptively simple for what it does. The EFT shortcut I'll demonstrate later. And the press and release gets closer to working with spaces, which is what I love to do. And we'll combine these with others, so let's keep going. The second step of transforming trauma, any situation, any problem, any emotion, any feeling, any thought or belief or anything, you can use this. And these are more advanced tools than energy, actually. They're working with spaces. And I first learned this from Dr. Graziano Dominici, who teaches what he calls dominant space. And I've played with it and kind of made it my own. And the variety I've developed I've called playing with spaces. It's non-cognitive body work, a body play, and so your mind gets to rest and your body gets to help out. And the general guideline is whatever you can imagine, you can do. So we let our body facilitate us and help us to release energies that are no longer working. It's a bit different than working with energies because a space is a system of energies and it contains all the energies in it that are involved with that. So when we transform a space, we're transforming everything in that space. So that makes it really fast and really powerful. And communication of space, so we're getting into talking about quantum entanglement, where communication across the universe is instantaneous. So time and distance become irrelevant, and we can go forward and backward in time and work with things, and we can work with things at a distance. And this is what Einstein called spooky action at a distance. And some Chinese physicists proved this with some experiments, and I'll send you links to that with the replay. And the third step to get connected to your own being, your true self. And it's greater than your mind, greater than your personality. And we're going to do an exercise to open this up that we call the expand exercise. And if you did this 50 times a day, it would be worth it and it would create a lot of ease. Okay, so before we start to play with these tools, can you just close your eyes and scan your body and look for any places that don't feel so great? Maybe there's a yuck feeling or some kind of other feeling, or a tension, or it just feels dense somewhere. There isn't ease. So find something specific that you will use as a measure and that you can work on today. And a major trauma probably isn't a good thing to work on. You want to have a little bit more support if you're going to work on something like that. So this is what we're going to do. Crown pull, EFT, anxiety shortcut, press and release, playing with spaces, and the expand exercise. Okay, I'm going to switch over to camera mode so you can see how to do these, and I'll allow a few seconds to make sure that the lag, you can catch up with me. So here we go. Okay. Sorry I keep asking for feedback, but just need to know. Okay, cool. All right. So if you could just put your hands in the middle of your forehead, what we're going to do is just start in the midline and just pull out. So just starting in the midline and pulling down towards your ears. And you're just creating more space and expanding. Yeah, with all this tech stuff, I need this too. So we can do it together. Okay, and just pull from the midline down to the back of your head and out your ears. I'll maybe send you a replay from yesterday to a link to that Okay, I'm just going to go back because it feels so nice. And breathing is also good. Okay, and take a deep breath. Okay, and EFT shortcut. So if you're thinking about whatever it is isn't causing you ease, then you can, this is a good thing to do while you're thinking of a problem. So we're just going to tap the top of your head, inside of your eyebrow, either side, one hand or both hands, it doesn't matter. Outside of your eye on that orbital bone, right there. Under your eye on the bone, under your nose, under your mouth, flat hand on your collarbone, and then tap under your arm about where your bra strap is. Okay, again, take a deep breath. Top of your head, inside of your eyebrow, outside of your eye, under your nose, under your mouth, flat hand on your collarbone, and under your arm. Take a deep breath. Okay, and this is a good thing to do lots of. We'll do about 3 rounds of this. Inside of your eyebrow, outside of your eye, under your nose, under your mouth, collarbone, and under your arm. Take a deep breath. Okay, so that's EFT. It worked quite well for a while, and then it just wasn't enough. So that, I'm not saying that it's going to be a long-term solution, but it's a good hands-on solution to get started anyway. And it's a good thing to teach to kids and anybody that's new to energy work. It's really quite handy. All right, so now press and release. So what we're doing now is we're just going to, the midline is also a good place of your whole body to do this. So we're just going to press in and then just expand like you're pulling taffy out. And if you don't feel that energy that you're pushing out, that's okay. It's still happening. And it took me months actually. After I'd done energy work for quite a few years, but I started doing energy body work with Access Consciousness, with their Access bars, and it took me months to be able to feel it in my hands. Now I can, and now I feel it when it's moving through my body and what's going on, but that took a while to develop. It was happening before that, but I just couldn't feel it. So don't think there's anything wrong if you don't feel anything. So we're just pressing on the midline and we're just pulling out. And you can send it out to infinity too. Okay, and down the back, just pulling out. And right at the base in the midline. Okay, now there's another whole line out on either side of the midline like this, and you can do that too. And let's start at the base of your skull on just a little bit outside of the midline on each side. That's a really powerful spot, and so just pull that out. Okay, and another really powerful one is where your skull sticks, I should turn the other way so you can hear me, where your skull sticks out at the back. So pull that one out. So just pull that out. And sometimes you can play with it too. Whatever you want. I'll sometimes just do this just to create more space and to create more lightness in my head. Okay, and other very powerful spots are right in the middle. Okay, at the top, and this is great for ADHD too, all this area, because right down in there about 3 centimeters, 3 inches or so, is the ventral tegmental area. And some of these things go right into there, and that's where dopamine is produced. So you can actually affect your dopamine levels. I'll sometimes spin spaces right into the VTA and into other places to try to change the neurochemical levels in the brain. That's my latest, greatest fun thing. Okay, so press and release this. It's also your crown. So when you can just do this with the top of your head, you can open up your crown, and that lets a lot of stuff out. So if you want to just do that a few times, just open up your crown. If you don't understand what I'm saying, don't worry, because your body knows how to open up your crown. Okay? And that can let out some of that pressure, especially if you're taking on stuff from other people. All right, and some more great spots are right in front of your ears. And if you can press there and out and pull that out, create some expansion that way. All around your ears and on your ears are many, I call them kind of, well, what I've been showing you, I think, are like gateways to your being, but their acupuncture spots on your ears are many, and there are points all over your body, of course, but they're quite condensed and concentrated near here. Okay? And you can also go here at the corner bones of your collarbone. Pull that out. Okay. And also right underneath your rib cage, straight down that way. And you can pull that out too. And just open up the space of your body. So you can do this in yourself, and you can do it with other people too. Okay, the expand exercise. So if you could just close your eyes, and what we're going to do is expand the space of your being. We tend to contract, and it's like being a chicken wire fence that collects all the garbage that comes at it. We contract hoping that things will go over our head, but actually they just go and stick. So if we expand, there's so much space between the molecules, things can go right through. And it feels vulnerable, but it actually creates a lot more ease than trying to hide. Go figure, right? We always think hiding is going to be the easiest or feel the best, and it actually just says, oh, something secret, let's go find out, right? All these energies go right to you. We always attract what we focus on. So if you want to focus, if you want to get a bunch of crap in your life, focus on the crap, and you can create more of that and attract more of that. If you want to focus on good stuff, attract good stuff, focus on it. Be grateful on a lot of things. And we'll talk about that. I'm doing an online course in August, and we'll talk about all those ways of bringing more and creating more good stuff in your life that you really want. Okay, so close your eyes and just expand your being. It's infinite, and it can expand infinitely, so expand it to fill the room. Okay, and if you think you can't do it, you've probably already done it because you guys are really fast. And expand it to fill the building that you're in, and the neighborhood, and the city or town. Good. And the country. Good. And the expand in every direction, as big as the world. Good. And now expand out into space as far as you need to go to get quiet. So past all activity for you. So just keep going. Your being is infinite and nothing can hurt it. There's no danger for you. No danger for your being to expand. Just keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You'd be shocked at how far this is, so don't worry about it just now. You can find out sometime if you like. But you're a big being. Keep going. Past all activity for you. Just go way, way, way out until it gets quiet. Just keep going. Keep going. Yeah, it's okay. And if you're afraid to go out there, know that it's safer there than it is where you are used to hanging out. Okay, that helps. Good. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so how does that feel? If you feel any lightheadedness or dizziness, it's just that you haven't been that expanded before, and it's very normal. You'll get used to it. Don't worry, it's nothing wrong. If you feel floaty, dizzy, or lightheaded, it's fine. It's just that you're more expanded than you're used to. Gotta go. Okay, so that's the practical part, Jen. The other part that we're going to do next is asking the question to everything, is this really mine? And watch the replay so you can get a little bit more explanation of that, okay? Because that will create a lot of ease. I'm not sure if it was you that talking about the noise in your head, but that will help with the noise in your head a lot. Okay, great. So we're going to flip back. Mary Lynn, how are you feeling? How are you guys doing? Good, nice and quiet. Excellent. Okay. So I'm going to go back to slides and give me a few seconds for it to sort out, and I'll ask you if you're with me again. So well, Helena is still here. Good. Okay, excellent. Okay, back to slides. Okay, I'm here. I'm just going to wait a few more seconds, and I'll wait a little bit more, and a little bit more. just to make sure that we're good. And you've already given me feedback. Mary Lynn, you're with me? Cool. Okay. So scan your body again and pay particular attention to the part of your body that you were working on. And has the discomfort shifted? Is it different in some way? Is it still there? And you can type that if you like. And if it's not still there, don't go looking for it. You can go looking for it. You can drag it back if you like. But it can disappear that quickly. Just like disappear. And it goes so silently and so quickly you don't even realize that it's gone. Still there, but lessened. Okay, cool. All right, so let's try something else here. So this is the next thing. So the last step in the path is this business of being super aware or intuitive or empathic or sensitive or psychic or whatever you want to call it. It's essentially the same thing. So being psychic is really just being aware of the thoughts and feelings of others. And you all are. Sorry, I'm checking comments too. So everybody has gut feelings and feels vibes like we talked about. And sometimes you might have the experience of having more than that. You know when you just know when the phone rings who it is, or you think about somebody and they contact you, or whatever. So what if you have the capacity to be aware of what's going on for people? And some of you even have more capacities than that of taking things out of people, like a healer capacity to take emotions and things out of people. And so this is the best question to ask about every thought, every feeling, every physical sensation, to ask, is this really mine? So Mary Lynn, can you just ask that? Is this really mine? What's still there? And how you can get an answer to that is just getting a sense when you ask the question, does it feel light and expansive in your universe, in your energy? So that would be a yes. Or does it feel heavy and contracted? Might be a physical heavy feeling or kind of an energy heavy feeling. I can feel this in my stomach. It's just like, ugh. It's like, oh, okay, I guess that's a no. Some people feel it in their heart or lungs or shoulders. So you can ask, if you're not sure, if you feel like there's something really kind of weird about it, you can ask truth, like cuts through the garbage. Truth, body, is this really mine? And you can also ask, body, if it were just you and me, with no points of view, truth, is this really mine? And then get the sense of light or heavy. And that's a great yes-no system to ask your body anything. It can take a little while to get used to. It took me a while to make the transition from doing muscle testing to doing light or heavy. Light or heavy is the most reliable, and muscle testing is the next. This is the next most reliable one, is the sway test. And it's more physical, and it's kind of a good way to get started using muscle testing if you haven't done it before. And it's still the most reliable way because doing muscle testing with your fingers and things like that can get messed up if you have a desire for a certain result or an expectation of a certain result or answer. And some other things can mess up muscle testing too. But the sway test, because it's such a core thing for us, we tend to move away from things that are not good for us or not pleasant or don't feel good for our body. And our bodies tend to move towards what feels good for them. So we're working with something that's instinctual to start with, and then using it as a communication method with our body. So just try it if you can stand up somewhere, or try it later. And there are some videos on YouTube to show you more if you want to see somebody doing it in action. So just think of something nurturing or lovely or beautiful that has no layers, not a relationship, because that always has some layers. And stand in position and just let your body sway forward or back or sideways as it will. Okay, and then think of something nasty and ugly. And there's lots on the internet now, lots going on in our world that is pretty ugly and nasty. So just think of something like that and see if your body goes forward or backward. And it might be really slight. Sometimes it's really strong, but sometimes not. It can be subtle, but just see if your body sways backwards or forwards or sideways. Okay, so you're calibrated correctly. You're good to go with a yes being forward and a no being backward. If that's what happens for you, the nurturing thing, you move forward, and then the unpleasant thing, you move backwards. If you go side to side and you're asking a question, it's usually because you're maybe asking two questions, or there's a question underneath, or there's another thing that makes it difficult to give a clear answer. You're not asking a clear question. Or you might be asking something that isn't really a question to ask, like about the future sometimes, what's going to happen. We can ask those questions, but they don't always, our body doesn't really go for that all that much. Or you might be, it's just not clear. So your body's basically saying, can you try that again? Maybe be more specific, more clear about what you're asking. Make sure it's a yes or no answer that you're looking for. We'll practice all this kind of thing more in the online course, and you can try it for yourself. So still there, but also Mary Lynn. So does that make any difference, those kinds of things? When you say, is this really mine? And is it light or heavy? Okay. So as you can see by the sway test, the light and heavy, working with your own awareness and connecting with your being that's connected to everything in the universe, you really do have everything that you require. Everything you're looking for, you already have. And everything that you want to know, or you're asking, you already know. And whatever you're seeking, you already have the resources to find that. So it's more important to go within and to work with your own intuition and your own being and your own team and source, or whatever you want to call that. And I call that my team. And that's where I will find my answers and get direction, and where I hang out. There's really no need then for a guru or to follow somebody else. We can learn things from other people, but to look outside of ourselves for the answers to our own life is not necessary, and probably it's not very empowering, is it, really, if we're looking to somebody else for answers to our life. You can do it yourself. So 2 students at school have really shown me the power of these tools. And these students had absolutely no prior experience with any kind of energy work. And one girl, I'll call her Miss T, she's usually all over the map, so unfocused and kind of wildly out of control, really, that she couldn't really even carry on a conversation or stick around to do anything, couldn't really focus on anything. So we were just standing in the library one day, and I said, hey, do you want to try something? Yeah, sure. She's not my student, so I don't know what her labels are or her diagnosis or anything about her, really, just from what I see in seeing her in the hallways. So we did the crown pull and the EFT, just like you did, no more than that. And she just sagged, and she said, oh, I'm so tired now. I'm like, yeah, you're so relaxed, like you've never been before. And she was calm, less than 2 minutes. She was just calmed right down. It was very cool. And another student, and he was in my classes, this was last year when he was in my music class, all his teachers were worried about his anxiety in every class, and people that weren't that perceptive, so it's quite noticeable. So I asked him one day, would you like to try something different? Sure. Yep. Very agreeable. So I showed him how to spin spaces, and we didn't do the playing with spaces. Darn it. Okay, hang on till the end and we'll do a bit of that. So basically just ask him to get that space of anxiety and bring it out in front of him like a ball, like he's holding the globe of the world or something, and just start spinning it like you'd spin a globe. And you can spin it forward or backward, and I said just do it however you want to do it. Let your hands do whatever they will. And I was asking energetically, what space can I add to his space that will create more ease for him? And it came to me to add the space of power. Okay, that's interesting. And so we spun his space and the space of power until they were the same. So basically we're spinning his space till it transforms to become like that space, and then combine them, got them into his body, and in less than 10 minutes, we were done. And he was like relaxed and happy and completely changed. And for the next 2 weeks, every time I saw him in the hallway, he'd say, "I'm still spinning spaces, miss. I'm still spinning spaces." And that was last year. And this year, he's been in more of my classes, and he's been in the kids group that I started, Stress Busters, to kind of learn some of these tools. And yeah, they really work for him. And he's really gone on to create great stuff and to be really happy in school. He looks happy all the time now. So it's really lovely to see how little it takes to completely change things. So you can use this for yourself, and you can use it with people that you know. Teach your kids, teach your family, whoever is willing to learn. It's very simple. And so, what would you like to transform in your life? That's the question. And maybe it's just getting rid of things at this point, getting rid of those kinds of thinking or getting rid of the anxiety. But what if you could go beyond that? The same thing that you're trying to get rid of, or the same way that you get rid of what you don't like, is the way that you create the good stuff, the great stuff that you really would like to create that you haven't been able to because of this anxiety that's always in the way. So maybe you're here because you feel underlying anxiety all the time and you don't know how to change it, or maybe you've tried a lot of different things to help you feel more relaxed and they haven't worked, or you have this noise in your head, like you said, or you feel overwhelmed. Or maybe a certain situation is causing a lot of anxiety or has caused a lot of trauma and anxiety and you don't know what to do about it. Or maybe you feel anxious around other people, or maybe all of those, or a little bit of them, or some of them. And you might be wondering, how can I change my situation? Because it always seems like our own particular situation is very complex and very socked in, very locked in, and it's difficult, and it seems difficult. I get that. I've been there. And how could a few simple tools like this, change that? I mean, that it just doesn't make sense. But what we're working with here is changing things not at the cellular level, but at the, I don't know, what do we call it, the subatomic level? Because at the center of every atom, there is nothing solid about your body. Did you know that? There is nothing solid about any molecule or atom. At the center of it all is just vibrating energy. So our bodies are made up of vibrating energy. And all the organs and all the different things of our body, they vibrate at different frequencies, but they are all vibrating. So we can change that vibration by doing energy work. And that's the amazing thing. And then when we work with spaces, we're just ramping that up to be so much more powerful and more fast. So maybe you're too busy too, and I know we're all, and you may be busier than me by far. But what if you could do it for 20 minutes a day? Just play with some of these tools for 20 minutes a day while you're doing something else maybe, or before everybody else gets up in the morning, or a little quiet time before you go to sleep, and just create some ease for yourself. It doesn't really need to take all that much time. Anyway, it's just a choice, right? You can keep doing whatever, you've been doing or sort of works, or it works for a while, or you can step into something greater. And the fact that you are here today tells me that you're looking for something greater. So what would it feel like to be able to access the peace and bliss and ease of being in the space of your own being that whenever you choose, and to start being that more and more and more? And what would it feel like just to have more of you, like more of who you truly be, who you truly are? And what would it feel like to be more nurtured in your body? Because that's what you do with this. Your body's more nurtured, your heart's more nurtured, your being is more nurtured. So what if you could be that for you instead of looking for it from other people? And so what if you could, with these kinds of simple, doable, fast tools, create some amazing transformation? That's very cool. So it always comes down to the question, and I'm asking myself all the time, Linda, are you willing? Are you willing to do this? Are you willing to be this? Because until we're willing to let go of something, or willing to be something, or willing to do something, nothing changes. So it's always just about the willingness to choose, and the willingness to choose something different, or the willingness to choose possibility instead of conclusion, and the willingness to transform them. So that possibility is always calling to us, and it's up to us whether we want to respond or not. So the course that I'm doing in August has the 4 steps that we were talking about: calming your body-mind with physical energy tools, and releasing stress and trauma with the Playing with Spaces bodywork. And we'll do a little bit of a demo and stuff when we're done here with the slides. And embracing the space of your being by connecting with your true self and all the resources of the universe, and embracing your intuitive gifts. And what you'll be able to do in the online course, this course gives you the exact process and the tools with guided support, which is me, to transform anxiety into calm and peace in your brain and body, and connection with your own inner self and knowing, and connection with something greater in the universe, and energized, calm ability to create. So going beyond the just calming your brain and body to being able to create whatever you'd like to create in your life. So it's time to start thinking about what you'd like to create if you haven't yet. That workbook had that question: what would you like to create in your life if there were no fear and no limits? And what if that's possible? So these are the dates of the course: August 4th, 11th and 18th, Thursdays at 8 p.m. Toronto time. And there's a bonus interactive workshop where we'll delve into Playing with Spaces bodywork 1 and 2. And that will be a Tuesday at 8 p.m. Toronto time. And what you'll be able to do with Module 1 is calm yourself quickly and easily, and improve your sleep, improve your focus, and improve your ability to be calm and present with yourself and others. So to be in the moment, to communicate with your body about anything that concerns it, and to be able to start to calm down that out of control thinking. And I think I mentioned already that one of the bonuses is to give you some tools to work with cognitive therapy and some of the distortions of thinking that really kind of wind us in knots. And in the Playing with Spaces workshop, you'll be able to transform past trauma, whether it's big or little, painlessly. This is not revisiting the trauma. This is just transforming the energy, and it's gone. And transform current stress with simple tools you can use anywhere and anytime. And to be able to transform the core beliefs of not enough or too much or any variation of those that are driving anxiety. And in Module 2, you'll be able to get into the space of your being. We'll talk about a lot of different, or we'll use a lot of different ways that you can get into the space of your being. Expanding, like we did today, is one of them. And even that press and release and Playing with Spaces helps to open up to being in the space of our being. But there are lots of other ways to just get there. And sometimes there's blocks, and we'll be working with that as well, and also how to stay in the space of your being, because we tend to keep contracting and dissociating or disconnecting, if that's what our default is being. You'll be able to connect with all the unseen resources that your being has access to, and to be able to communicate with them. And you'll be able to invite contribution from the earth. Some people are sensitive to the earth, I am, and nature, and from all over the universe with ease, and receive it. So being able to ask and receive. And you'll start reclaiming parts of you. This is like soul retrieval, or sometimes like inner child work or shadow work. And you'll have more of your being in your body. And that's always my aim, is to be physically actualizing or manifesting more of my being that's infinite in this body. And you'll be able to move from living in fight and flight, that's the panic mode, that's the adrenaline high, to living more at one with your being and your core team and all things. So that's the ideal, really, is being at one. You can call it communion or whatever you want to call it, but that's where you have peace, really, is being at one. And in Module 3, you'll be able to refine your gift of awareness, your intuition, with deceptively simple tools and what next flowcharts. And you'll be able to use your awareness for information and guidance to make decisions and choices and take next steps. And you'll be able to use your awareness to help you create what your heart desires, as if by magic. And you'll be able to identify your healer-helper gifts and capacities, and you'll start to have more ease with your desire to help and heal, and start to get free of the compulsion to fix, save, and rescue. So this is what it looks like on the site, and you can go take a look for yourself. And the bonuses, the Calm Down sequence, and the CT bonus, Module 2, Embracing the Space of Your Being, and the bonuses are the workshop and exercises, which hopefully we can also do in the workshop to release underlying beliefs. And Module 3, Embracing Your Intuitive Awareness. Bonuses are flowchart of questions to refine awareness and a practical guide to going beyond the limitations of fixing, saving, rescuing, helping, and healing. Because a lot of us are actually, people that are interested in this often have the capacity to heal by taking other people's stuff out of their bodies, whether it be emotions or physical sensations or diseases, or sometimes it's just awareness. So identifying what's going on with that, and we can, there's a here, Take Action Now bonus is an audio that will help to release some of the attachments and programs and oaths and vows to do with being a healer or doing all of that thing to kind of create more ease with that. Also in that audio, we will be able to, I'll guide you through some of the ways to get other people's stuff out of your body if you've taken it on, and also clear some of the points of view about what we're aware of, because that's where we can really stick ourselves, is we're aware of things, and when we have points of view or judgments or expectations about those things, that's when they really kind of get stuck in our energy. If we had no points of view, it was just like, yeah, big deal, you know, more scenery outside the car window sort of a thing. And if, for those that are here, some have already gone, and we have Helena still here, good. For being willing to take a leap, I'm offering right away a bonus of 10 tips for staying sane in groups of people and access to join the private social group that is not on Facebook. It's a tribe social, but I will also start a Facebook group that's secret so that there's no people coming and going, or people can't see who's in the group, and you can interact with me and with each other between sessions. And the question, of course, that comes up is, what is the course cost? It's $197 for everything, all the bonuses, all the sessions, and interaction in the social groups, or 2 payments of $99 each, and you get 3 live modules. These are the latest tools. You won't find this Playing with Spaces stuff elsewhere, or any Working with Spaces really all that much, except with Dr. Graziano Dominici and me, basically, and people that he's taught over in Europe. Bonus live group workshop, recordings of all the sessions, slide decks for the modules, lots of bonuses, how-tos and tip sheets and videos and audios. Try to cover most aspects of anxiety, and then the social groups. This is just my refund policy. These tools have really changed my life, and it can change your life. But if you find that you're not getting results, I'll gladly offer a partial refund. Partial since it's a live course and there are a lot of bonuses. So as long as you've attended all the sessions live to that point, and that you've completed the home play, whatever it is, and practiced the tools for 20 minutes a day, I'm glad to refund minus whatever bonuses have been sent. So there will be a little button up here that you can go check out the website and see that. And there it is. And all that you need to do, it's very simple, is go to quietspaces.ca/online course, read about it, read about what we're doing and about the bonuses. Click on your payment choice, do your business with PayPal, and you'll get 2 bonuses in the email right away. And I'll send the audio. This one here will be delivered with after the 3rd session, because it matches the 3rd module that we'll be doing, so it'll come later. So please tell your friends, and there's one more live webinar on August 2nd. It's at 9 p.m. Toronto time. So tell your friends that is live for registration on quietspaces.ca. And please contact me if you have any questions. I'm also, if you're in Toronto, I'm doing a live 2-hour masterclass in person this Saturday, like 2 days from now, from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Happy Soul at 961 Bloor Street West. And you can phone to register at 647-348-0961. So that bonus will be available until actually August 2nd, until after the next webinar, to give everybody a chance to have it, because I really want people to be able to have more freedom and ease with this. So thank you very much for joining me today, and we will look forward to interacting with you more, and I hope that you will come and play with me. This is my favorite stuff, and it's my best stuff, and it's the most current stuff, and it can create ease and freedom beyond anything else that I've really experienced so far. So I'm offering you my best stuff, and I hope that you'll come and play. So thank you for being with me today. And we'll send you a replay, and I'll send you some links of things that you can check out. Yeah, and I've got written down what kind of links I want to send you, so I will do that as soon as the replay is ready, and then you'll have all of that. So thank you, and talk to you later. Oh, back to camera, sorry. Helena, are you still here? So if you do want to, that would be cool, and we can do that. Okay, I'll send a video, and we can do that later. Okay.